You know, the leaves in the trees are beginning to change color, and for many, school is back in session, but the calendar says it's still summertime, which, along with winter, fall, and spring, is the perfect time to bake a cake. This week on Kayfabe Kitchen, I'm baking Kane's red velvet cake from the old WWF cookbook. Now, at first glance, this appears to be one of the most complex recipes in the entire book, but looks can be deceiving. In honor of one of my favorite characters of all time, I'm ready to give this one a try. Let's start with the cake itself. You'll need a fudge marble cake mix, baking soda, eggs, buttermilk, and some red food coloring. In a large bowl, combine the cake mix with the baking soda, then add the eggs, buttermilk, and food coloring. Mix everything up until it's moist, then blend on high with a mixer or beater for 2 minutes. If you don't have one of those appliances to help, you just gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Next, pour the batter into 2 9-inch cake pans that have been greased and floured. Put them in the oven at 350 degrees for 30 to 35 minutes. Once they're done, let the cakes cool on a wire rack. While the cakes are cooling, it's time to make the frosting. You'll need flour, milk, butter or margarine, a cup of sugar, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla. The recipe says it's okay to cheat and just buy frosting from the store, but damn it, this is Kayfabe Kitchen, and I don't do anything half-assed. First, whisk the flour and milk in a saucepan on medium-low heat. Bring it to a boil and whisk for another couple of minutes until the sauce is thickened. Then cover the mixture and cool it down in the fridge. Back to the mixer, cream the butter and sugar. Then add the milk mixture and beat for about 10 minutes until it's fluffy. Then stir in the vanilla. Now comes the real fun part if you're a perfectionist, applying the frosting. Start by frosting the top of one of the cake layers. Place the second cake on top, then frost the sides and the top, and you're done. Seems to be missing something. Making this cake was definitely an exercise in patience for me. I nailed the cake, that was fine, there was no problem with the cake. However, the frosting, the first attempt at it, I totally botched it. I ruined it. This is my first attempt at making the frosting, and this, I don't know what you call this, but this ain't frosting. I gotta start over. The recipe for the frosting calls for butter or margarine. I prefer butter, but in this case I only had 1 stick of butter on hand. You need 2 for the recipe. So I think I have enough margarine, I'll just use margarine instead. Bad idea, because I wound up using way more margarine than it called for, and that's what caused the batch to be ruined. So I had to start all over again with the frosting. I had to mix the flour and the milk again, boil that, chill that, and I had to then cream the, what I wound up doing was I took my 1 stick of butter and mixed it with a little bit of margarine, and then put that with the sugar, and that caused the second attempt for the frosting to go much better. So then when I put everything together, it was great. So once you actually figure out how much butter or margarine you're supposed to use, the frosting will turn out better. I recommend you just do butter. It'll save you a lot of headache. But once I put it all together, the cake itself was delicious. The frosting was a little oily because of the margarine. Again, I recommend you just go all the way with butter. Funny thing about the recipe, it calls for fudge marble cake mix. Now, it comes with this packet of cocoa powder you're supposed to stir in after you make the main cake mix, but the recipe for the Kane's red velvet cake didn't call for adding the cocoa powder, just the cake mix. I don't know if it meant lump everything in or just the main cake itself. I just decided to, just follow the recipe to the letter and not include the cocoa powder. You're free to do that too if you want. Also, my cake turned out more pink than red because I didn't have quite enough red food coloring for the recipe. If you're gonna do this, you'll make sure you have the requisite amount of red food coloring. It says an ounce, I had maybe half that. That's probably why the cake turned out pink. But either way, it still tastes really good. And that's how you make Kane's red velvet cake, the devil's favorite demon's favorite treat. For this and other Kayfabe Kitchen recipes, check out the Wrestling with Regret Facebook page. Be sure to thumbs up this video if you like it, comment below, subscribe to Wrestling with Regret, and buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com. I'm Chef Brian Zane, and I'll see you next time.